Small businesses in the tourist town of Waitomo are crying foul over big government handouts being passed on to larger operators while they struggle to survive. Discover Waitomo, one of the town's biggest operators, has received $4 million in government help to get it through the coming months. But they're not the only ones doing it tough, and smaller players say they need help with funds too. Reporter Nick Truebridge and cameraman Nick Monro went to see how Waitomo's businesses are faring.
Just months ago, Discover Waitomo's homestead would have been full of international visitors tucking into their lunch after a trip through the settlement's famed glowworm caves. Today, the building's dining area is deserted. Instead of hot meals, chairs sit on each table. The hum of languages from across the globe is replaced with silence.
This is just the reality of what we're facing at the moment. Short term, hopefully, in a couple of years' time, in a year's time, we'll be back up in business and this will be full again with our international visitors, all going well.
That's Discover Waitomo commercial manager Christine Manns. She says the company, owned by publicly listed Tourism Holdings Limited, has effectively gone from a large-scale operator to a small-time outfit still handling massive overheads. The domestic market it now relies on represents just 14% of its business. Manns says that figure has lifted slightly thanks to the school holidays.
Luckily to the school holidays, we're now what I see as a medium tourism operator. But after the school holidays, we'll be back to a small-scale operator.
Discover Waitomo has limited its operations to 4 days a week, though it's back up to 7 days through the school holidays. Meanwhile, Tourism Holdings Limited has slashed up to 140 jobs, many of those losses coming at Discover Waitomo and the rest through Kiwi Experience bus tours. Still, the company is soldiering on with a shot in the arm in the form of $4 million through the government's strategic tourism asset funding.
I think the key thing for us being operational is to acknowledge the grant that we got from the government. Large-scale business, large overheads, so therefore that grant enabled us to stay open, and that also enables other operators to stay open, and for visitors who are coming to see us, when we go to the caves, I'll show you that they can come and eat in the local cafes, that they can choose between us and other operators as well. So we are generating a local economy by being open.
But not all the locals are happy. Peter Chandler owns Spellbound Glowworm and Cave Tours.
The majority of people we spoke to when that was news thought that the money had been given to all the Waitomo operators, which wasn't actually true. So it did seem strange that the big operator got all the funding, but yet they were actually only open 4 days a week until this week, and the other operators made a commitment for the public to be open 7 days a week, so it did feel kind of weird.
Chandler says small operators want a piece of the pie too.
Probably because of that, a lot of the smaller operators have actually said, hey, we're important too, we're showcasing New Zealand, so we've actually put in for that funding as well to a lesser degree.
Chandler says the school holidays have been a busier time for his business, but the road in the lead-up has been tough.
It's been quiet, but there has been a steady trickle of Kiwis going through Waitomo. I think we're quite well placed with the large Auckland population. We actually stayed open the month of June. We normally have our recess, our winter break in June, so that's how much of a crazy year it's been. And we all knew it was going to get busier in the school holidays, and yeah, it certainly has really picked up. We had a lot of forward bookings for the school holidays, so yeah, you can't complain really.
Meanwhile, Manns says Discover Waitomo's new 4-day-a-week model has taken some getting used to.
In tourism, you look at the bell curve from a cyclical perspective, and you have your peak season, which is your summer, then your off peaks, and then your sort of winter months. So what we find is actually our Saturday is our peak season, our summer month. Sundays are pretty much going into spring or autumn, and then Thursday and Friday are our winter months. So we've kind of got 4 seasons in 1 week.
A smattering of domestic tourists had made the trip to the rural Waikato village when Checkpoint visited on Wednesday, though the settlement's car parks and cafes were far from capacity. Some, like Hamilton's Cheryl Robertson, who decided to take her grandchildren on their first cave tour, are taking advantage of the campervan and cave tour deals on offer.
We thought it would be quietish. But then we wondered as well, if there'd be a lot of locals, just domestic travellers out and about, especially being school holidays. But so far it's quiet, but then it is wet and, not the nicest out there today anyway.
Bad weather or not, the message from locals is clear.
I mean, you don't have to come this week. Waitomo is actually a lot nicer in the summertime, but if you have to get out of Auckland, if you really need to get out of Auckland, come down now, or we'll be very happy to see you this coming summer.
So despite some very dark times for Waitomo, business owners here remain hopeful there's light at the end of the tunnel. For Checkpoint, Nick Truebridge.